The next major update for TF2 is finally here. Meet your match. It's here. The competitive update. Finally, after a year of being teased by me and Valve and all kinds of things, it's finally here. We get to play it. We get to see what it's all about, all right? That's kind of what I want to talk about today is what is this update going to mean? What is it going to mean to me, to you, to everybody involved, right? And my expectations, a lot of people, they might think differently than what I actually have to say. So despite all the rumors of me being off in some pyro land or wearing my Valve goggles or whatever, I just wanted to set the record straight and maybe level with you guys and see what you guys think too. So where to start? Basically, competitive TF2, it's very important to me. I'm not just a player, competitor in the leagues and all that stuff, but I'm also a streamer. I do YouTube stuff from time to time. TF2 content is important to me, right? But there is a slight problem with it, not only as a content creator, but as just a player, and that problem is just the flow of playing the game. It's not streamlined, but it will be now, right? So they've added in this matchmaking. They've added in this quick play. It exists in all kinds of other games, but I think that it's kind of overlooked how important that really is. Right now, what does it feel like? You add up to a pug, right? Maybe it takes 10 minutes. Teams get picked. Somebody has an issue. You need a sub. Everyone joins the server. It just time just keeps stacking up, and it's just like a slow process if you just want to play some competitive TF2. And if you watch my stream when I'm trying to do things like this, I spend so much time just trying to fill up downtime. I'm trying to join MGE servers, jump maps. I'll jump into a pub and I won't even know what the hell is going on in there, and just trying to kill time. And I think that that's the thing that I personally am most excited about with this whole update is just the fact that playing TF2 is just going to be such a smoother experience now. In both the quick play, where you launch up into a 12v12 matched server and just play it out to completion, or into matchmaking, where similarly, but in 6v6, and then you can just keep rolling. Go, queue up, queue up, queue up, another game, another game, another game, and it's just going to be like endless fun. I imagine I'm going to just be able to spend hours and hours doing this because the time's just going to fly by because I'm always going to be focused. I'm always going to have something to do. So that's kind of, for me, like really the big thing is that new experience of a streamlined TF2. Now, talking about like matchmaking itself, what the impact of that will be, and what I want, what I realistically expect, it's as simple as this. Our community right now is a few thousand people. Maybe some even say that's a generous estimate. We have communities in America, in Europe, in Australia, Asia. We have communities around the world, but in general, our scene is honestly quite small. And TF2 is not a small game either, though. That's kind of always been the weird thing, kind of one of the most confusing things about TF2 is that we have a pretty solid player base, 50,000 people on average maybe per day, concurrently, and then yet you don't see like that same like community size reflected in competitive. You don't see it in stream numbers. Maybe you see it on YouTube. Like there's some pretty big YouTube channels, but for some reason it doesn't seem to translate. And I think that the competitive update is going to make a big change in how that all breaks down, because the thing you really got to keep in mind here is that when they redo all the menus and stuff and you see casual and you see competitive, people are going to click the competitive, right? They're going to check it out. They want to know what that is. And matchmaking is just going to become a way of life for people. And when you get people thinking in more of a competitive way, not only does it get them more invested in the game, which expands the lifespan of your game, but it also gets them craving more. It gets them wanting to learn, wanting to check out tips and tricks, wanting to just watch how do better people do this. How can I improve so I can beat them. That's what competitive is. And so people are going to be looking for things like Team Fortress TV, YouTube channels of competitive players like me, streams of competitive players, and just things like that. So the community is like in a perfect position to just expand over this. Like if we even got, let's say, 10,000 players to genuinely be interested in competitive TF2 after this update comes out, our scene will just feel so much healthier. And at the end of the day, that's really all that I care about, is just having our scene thrive. Um, Having more people post on the forums, having more people adding up to pugs, having more people, watching the events and bringing the hype. We've got I-58 coming up, right? Imagine how awesome it'll be when we have a bunch of new people there watching it and cheering on their favorite teams. So that's really that's that's really the biggest impact that we're all gonna just feel. You know, some people say, well, are we gonna get majors? Are we gonna get stickers and skins? Those things are nice. Like it'd be cool to have those, of course, but it's we don't need that stuff for this update to have a huge impact positively on our scene. And maybe someday, we'll get to that point where we have that like really excessive like competitive support from Valve, but we don't need that right now. Right now we need to lay down that foundation, lay down the groundwork, and follow the roadmap of putting out matchmaking, everyone getting their hands on it, people flocking to the streams and flocking to just matchmaking itself, and offering their feedback on the forums and everywhere. Valve listens to this stuff. And if it's well received, then the next logical step can be taken. And maybe we can all work together to help build this all the way up to what we know TF2, the best game ever made, deserves, right? Compared to all these other games out there that have things but like have this huge esports thing built around them. TF2 could have that too. I think TF2 is a great game that could succeed in that space, but it needs to be built up that way. It'd be insane for Valve to come out of nowhere and just be like, "Hey, we got $1 million. Who's the best TF2 team? Let's find out. Woohoo!" Just out of nowhere. It just wouldn't make sense. And I hope you guys can understand that. I think the approach that they've got going on right now is probably for the best. And I am willing to make those kinds of sacrifices to just have the game be improving. Even if it's slow, I'm willing to be along for that ride. We've been here for 9 years. What's a little bit longer? That's how I see it, I guess. So yeah, I just have a lot of optimism for this update. Um, and it's as simple as improving the way the game plays. It's already an amazing game, but if the game can play even better, the experience for the players better, they have a community that they can get involved with, they get more interested in the game and the players, and they start rising up through the ranks, they start bringing their own personality, they start creating content themselves, then TF2 just becomes healthier overall. And I think it's win-win for everybody, really. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know. If you enjoyed the format of this, me just rambling on and ranting, let me know, and I will potentially do more things like this. So go play some matchmaking, have fun with it, leave some feedback on the forums, wherever you like to go, Steam forums, Team Fortress TV, Reddit. Valve pays attention to this stuff, and your voice can be heard. And with that, yeah, that's it. See you guys.